Coming off a great win for us last week against University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. We jumped up to a 17-0 lead at halftime. Looked like everything was going really well. We played very well defensively. We were able to stop their big running back, Sweeney, held him to 70 yards in the first half, which doesn't simply stop them, but we held them in check anyway. And felt good going into halftime. Thought had we scored one more touchdown early in the second half, we could have put the game out of reach. Unfortunately, we didn't do that, and we gave them some life, and they came back and scored 2 touchdowns, and then we had to hang on to win. But the big thing was, our kids hung in there. We made some plays defensively. We had 5 takeaways, which is really important, and we did a really good job in certain areas of the game. Obviously, we have some things to clean up. We turned the ball over also twice on the goal line in key situations. So, we have work to do, but I was pleased with our efforts of our kids out there, and they did a great job. Hopefully that'll springboard us into this next game. We have our big rivalry game this week against St. Thomas. They're ranked number 2 in the country, very, very good football team. We're going to have to play our best game in order to beat them, but our kids have practiced well all week. We've put some things together. I like where our team's at. I think mentally and physically we're getting better, and we're looking forward to a great game this weekend. I hope to see everybody out there. It should be a great one, and hopefully we'll come out with another win.
Big week coming up. Obviously, it's always fun to play the Tommies. Good to have a great rivalry. We're happy that we're coming off a victory. Things obviously weren't perfect last week, but great to be 2-0. Another good team win. The offense has some positives to take from last week. We did some really good things on occasion. But looking forward to this weekend. A lot of challenges. They do a lot of different things in the blitzing. Obviously a very good defense and a very good team. We'll have some challenges with protection. We'll have some challenges running the ball. We're hoping we'll be able to do a little bit of both and play as well as we've played. I believe we're going to rise to the occasion.
All right, St. John's University football team faced Eau Claire last week in its home opener and came away with a 17-14 victory, which was a good win to put us 2-0 for the season against 2 MIAC teams, which is great. Defensively in the first half, we did some very good things, I thought. We held their offense down to about 90 yards offense in the first half and had a 17-0 lead at that time, and probably could have even been a little higher if possible, but we did some good things and made a lot of improvements. The second half, we got ourselves in a couple tight situations and somehow created a few turnovers we needed to, but they went with a little bit more of a run game as they were only 4-17 passing, and their great running back Sweeney, the 6'2", 250-plus tailback, was running downhill quite often on us and ran for about 190 yards in the second half. So he was tough to stop, and somehow, though, we did come up with a few big turnovers. We had another big turnover that would have been a welcome sight at the time, but we ended up getting a penalty on it and gave them the football right back. We had the football at midfield, and they actually ended up scoring on it because now they had the ball about our 25. And they scored on that drive, so that's something we've got to eliminate. We can't have those penalties. But we came up big when we needed to on their last drive when they were going in for a game-winning score or a tying field goal. We did cause a fumble, and we did have 3 fumble recoveries and 2 interceptions, plus the one that we gave back to them. So there's some good things. Certainly have a lot of things to shore up still against the run, against the power running game that we saw against Eau Claire. But it was a good win for us, and kind of needed a chance to play some of these Wisconsin schools is great because you really get ready for your season, and which brings us into our conference opener, and we certainly are in the battle right off the thick of it with the first game in the conference schedule with the University of St. Thomas. They're coming off a 2-0 win against actually the same 2 teams we have played. They're ranked number 2 in the country. They're the team we have to beat right now, has knocked them off the perch, which is they're top of the MIAC the last couple of years, and so we know we have our hands full. They got a very experienced quarterback, even though he's only a junior. The ball's in his hand, and how their offense goes right through him because he can make plays with his feet. Not a pure passer by any means, but certainly very capable. And plus with their running attack and what he can do running the football, they can do some play action things that can get some guys open that make for some easy throws. So they do that very well. And he's got a bevy of guys to throw to. They really don't rely on one person. Well, they've got a handful of receivers that are very talented, and they kind of do the same in the backfield. We got 2 or 3 guys that carry the football for them, so they have a bunch of guys they can go to. But bottom line is the offense runs through their quarterback, and if we can control him and get him in situations where we're a little more predictable, well, that'll be a plus for us. But I mean, it's going to be a great game. I know there'll be a great crowd. There'll be a lot of Tommy fans there cheering and screaming. So it's always a fun day, and hopefully we can keep continuing to play well and keep moving on with in the win column.